Good afternoon to the both of you. I have to say we've been out here pretty much all day long and the lines have not been that bad. Even now as we're heading into one of the peak travel hours here out at Midway, the line does seem to be moving. It is backing up just a little bit, but again, nothing like we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks out here. Now the TSA did this demonstration and they are saying over and over again they didn't do the demonstration because they're blaming passengers for these huge lines that we are seeing, but it does say passengers can help. Descending from Midway's ticketing floor to security, passengers wonder how long their TSA wait will be.
I got in early today because I was nervous. Everyone was like, you better get there early.
Nicole York and Tim Flynn got to Midway 2.5 hours early.
I saw the pictures on the news, so I was prepared.
Today's line is nothing compared to what we have seen over the past week at both Chicago airports. Passengers missing flights, some even having to sleep on cots.
Large electronics going by themselves.
Today, the TSA demonstrated how 10 passengers can get through a TSA pre-check line in about 2 minutes if they follow TSA rules.
You can go back and check a bag under the plane with this in here.
They did it again with people trying to get through with water, a computer, and other banned items, which took about 6 minutes. But what the demonstration lacked was that guy who's never flown before, screaming children and a family of 4 with 2 carry-ons each. Basically, it lacked authenticity.
Do you have a firearm in your bag?
I completely forgot about that.
We are not using this event to blame it on passengers, but we wanted to illustrate that it is one piece of the puzzle.
The other part of the security line puzzle, TSA says, is a 7% increase in the flying public and a decrease in TSA staffing levels. Yesterday, Chicago aldermen floated an idea of hiring a private security firm to help get people moving faster.
We'll support them in the decision if they decide to move forward with it.
Today, people are just happy to be moving somewhat quickly. A pleasant surprise for this couple on their way to Orlando and on their way to celebrate moving forward in their relationship.
We're going to celebrate our engagement, so that's
why. Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome. TSA also saying that they do plan to add more agents, both full-time out here at Midway and O'Hare, and also move some of the part-time security agents up to full-time to try and help with some of the staffing shortages. Also, even with all of that, TSA is saying that Memorial Day is going to be a horrible time to travel. They said to treat it like Thanksgiving or Christmas. Get here at least 2 hours for a domestic flight, 3 for international. We're live at Midway. I'm Eric Runk, WGN News.
Eric, quick question for you. So the TSA did the demonstration on a TSA pre-check line, but those TSA pre-check lines are typically the quicker ones. Did they do a test on the regular lines where we've seen most of the huge, enormous lines?
That was quite a problem that a number of the reporters had today with the demonstration is because it just wasn't realistic. It's not what a lot of people are seeing at O'Hare as well as at Midway when they're trying to go through the security lines. Most people do not have the TSA pre-check, which is what we saw today. Of course, the TSA has been trying to get people to sign up for that TSA pre-check to help with the lines that we're seeing in the staffing shortages. But again, they didn't do that, and that's what made this demonstration so unrealistic to a lot of people that saw it today.
The boss is in town today. He is addressing the long lines at O'Hare and at Midway. The TSA administrator just met with Mayor Rahm Emanuel and the CEOs of a few major airlines. This morning, they gathered at O'Hare to talk about measures being taken to fix the frustration. TSA Administrator Peter Neffinger had a one-on-one with the mayor. He also spoke with Senator Dick Durbin, along with the CEOs of United, American, and Southwest Airlines. It's all in response to chaotic scenes at O'Hare and Midway in recent days. More flyers and fewer TSA officers have driven wait times up to unbearable levels in some cases. Some travelers have reported waits up to 3 hours. The mayor says it's unacceptable, and with the summer travel season approaching, something needs to be done.
Now we have a situation that is totally not tolerable for the flying public because the people responsible were not doing the jobs that they needed to do in funding, but also staffing positions.
I sent in a team that identified immediate staffing and operations adjustments. I've accelerated planned increases to frontline staff and K-9 teams. I've added thousands of overtime hours to ensure maximum flexibility to local leadership to meet demand.
We need to move America toward TSA pre-check. pre-check is a much quicker and more efficient system. And we talked to the administrator about ways to make it more passenger friendly.
Here are some of the new measures the TSA is promising. 100 TSA staff members will shift from part-time to full-time. By this weekend, an additional 5 K-9 teams will be here. They're sending 58 more staff members to Chicago, with 250 more on the way. And they have authorized the tripling of overtime. For the past 2 days, security lines here at O'Hare have been moving much better. The TSA advising people to get to their flights at least 2 hours beforehand. That's a big improvement from the 3 hours they were advising earlier in the week. Reporting at O'Hare, Jessica D'Onofrio, ABC.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dawn Hasbro.
And I'm Jeff Herndon. A fatal gang shooting tonight. It happened just feet from police headquarters and minutes after police announced a massive strike against known gang members. The unintended victim, an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire, 49-year-old Yvonne Nelson, an employee of the city's Office of Emergency Management. She was just walking out of a coffee shop tonight when a stray bullet killed her instead of the intended target, who police call a known gang member. Scott Schneider is live at police headquarters tonight, just a block away from where Nelson was shot and killed. Scott?
You know, Jeff, just a little while ago, I was at the apartment where Yvonne Nelson used to live. I spoke to a neighbor who was very close to her. He described her as sweet and compassionate. He's absolutely stunned by her loss. Meanwhile, that shooting that took place really just a stone's throw from the doorstep of CPD headquarters serves as a grim reminder of just how widespread gang violence is here in Chicago. It's just past 3 this afternoon. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson holding a press conference at police headquarters, detailing a major gang takedown this week. Johnson offering a stern warning to violent offenders.
If you choose this lifestyle that fuels the engine of violence in our city, you will feel the full weight of our department and our partners in law enforcement.
A little more than an hour later, shots ring out at State and 35th, just 2 blocks from CPD headquarters. A gang-motivated shooting that wounds the intended target and kills an innocent bystander. Joshua Lott saw the female victim just moments before she was gunned down.
I didn't believe it at first. And I look out the windows and I look out the window and I see that there's officers with their guns drawn.
2 hours after issuing a warning to those who would do harm to others in the city, Johnson was back before the cameras.
We know that the intended target is a documented gang member, but again, it illustrates how people have weapons in the city of Chicago and they don't mind using them.
Tonight, as CPD investigates yet another gang-related shooting, there are questions surrounding the safety of their own backyard. David Taylor has lived near CPD headquarters for 20 years.
I feel like this is my neighborhood too, so there's no reason for me to be afraid. But if I were not from the area, I could see how some people might shy away from a crowd of people just standing there.
And you know, Don, even more irony tonight. I spoke with the owner of the Jimmy John's. Now, she hired the intended victim of today's shooting 3 years ago. He was part of Chicago's Black Star Project. This is a group that takes kids off the streets and gives them jobs. Don, back to you.
That's right. All right. Scott Schneider reporting live tonight. Thank you, Scott. As he reported, police had finished announcing a big crackdown on gang violence. Police arrested 140 people in what's being called one of the biggest anti-drug and anti-violence sweeps in the department's history. 95 of the people arrested are documented gang members, they say. The superintendent hoped the sweep would send a message to the relatively small amount of criminals causing big problems for Chicago.
We know there's 1,300 to 1,400 individuals in the city of Chicago that's driving most of our violence. Those individuals need to know that if they don't choose to take an alternative lifestyle, then we'll bring everything we have at our disposal, including our federal partners, to come at them, to put the weight of the Chicago Police Department on them to stop them from driving the violence in our city.
Police say they also seized 23 guns, $45,000 worth of narcotics, and more than...
Police tell us a 68-year-old truck driver was shot in the face while driving northbound on the Dan Ryan Expressway. You can see the driver's side window of the semi-tractor blown out. State police tell us the 68-year-old driver from Chicago was heading northbound on the Dan Ryan just north of 95th Street around midnight last night when another car drove by and someone in that car opened fire at the semi-driver. The victim was hit by gunfire in the face. A witness saw the semi-driver veer in and out of the lanes of traffic when he was hit. The driver was able to pull over and get out of the semi-tractor. He was rushed to Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, where he remains in critical condition. Neighbors reacted to yet another expressway shooting.
You got to take into account, if you shoot somebody and they rolling at 60, 70 miles an hour, they car crash into other people's cars, they lucky that truck was able to stop. It's just dumb.
While investigating, state police shut down lanes for several hours looking for bullet casings. This is the 20th expressway shooting this year and the third one just this week. Reporting from outside of Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn.